Welcome everyone to the steps on how to utilize Balto Cloud. This is for team lead supervisors and managers. Simply, you would have to go to the website, baltocloud.com, put in your email address that you set up the account with, click login, and then you will be brought to the Balto page. On the left-hand side is the dashboard. This is where you can pull data, look at information, check statuses, QA scorecards, and so forth. In the order that we see the Volta logo. Yes, it's the dog. When you click this arrow here, it just expands the page that you're currently using, so you're able to kind of see it more. The next icon is the playbooks. Just to kind of give you some insight on what the playbooks are. Playbooks are linked to specific line of businesses. So ACA sales has its own playbook. ACA member services has its own playbook. Medicare, Medicaid Advantage have their own sales playbook and so forth. And so essentially, you guys will be using the ACA playbook. All right. And this is where the playbooks are stored. And now when it comes to the next tab, it's the users tab. All right. The user tab allows you to search team leads, agents, and so forth. All right. And the next tab is the reporting tab. The reporting tab is where all the data is, and that's where we will be able to kind of go in and track trends and see coachable moments for agents. We also have the leaderboards where agents can see special notifications. They can see their stats, other agent stats. They can see where they rank in Balto in the leaderboards. And that information is populated through Balto as Balto is continuously taking the stats and taking the data. And so agents are able to see that daily as well. And then we have the QA scorecard section. That's where the scorecard section is. And then we have the real-time coaching. All right, so I want to kind of break things down just a bit more. Reporting, right? Reporting has a lot of options here. As you can see, first thing we're going to go into is the overview section, right? So I just want to let you guys know that in all of the reporting sections here, whenever you click these sections, you will always be given the option to filter out, right? You filter out what you want to search for. You may want to search for an agent, or you may want to search for an entire team, or you may want to search the status for a specific team lead, supervisor, or manager. And do remember that when you are searching, you want to make sure you are clicking the ACA playbook because that is a playbook that will host your line of business Balto information, right? And so we also have the option to check, maximum call duration. We can check today's date, yesterday's date, last month, last 7 days. Oftentimes, when you're coaching an agent and they say, "Oh, well, I know you noticed I didn't say or I didn't ask." Remember if they have Medicaid or Medicare, but I normally do it. It was just the one time I didn't do it. And you can say, okay, cool, great. So let me check Balto and then let me check last month, see how many times you didn't say it, right? Gotcha. So this allows us to check the stats, when we have managers included, or we can unselect it. So, those numbers are on the bottom as well. Here we have the total calls, the checklist, average handle times, and the wins. We have active agent. Do understand that these numbers are based off the agents that are logged into Balto. So if you have 5 agents on your team and only one of them are logged into Balto, the Balto stats are pulling from that one agent. This is why all agents, no matter senior, no matter if you make the biggest sales, everyone needs to log into Balto. What we can do is just focus on those agents that needs more improvement. But everyone needs to log into Balto because if everyone isn't, it becomes a division thing. And some people think like, oh, well, it's like training wheels for dummies, and it's not. It's something that's going to help us improve the quality of the business for longevity. All right. So here on the overview page, you can scroll down, you can see an overview of the checklist usage, right? You can hover over. You can see the top deck items, right? The deck items are basically triggers, right? That Scott and I input it into Balto to kind of, alert or send a notification or see how many times this is being said on the customer's end, right? Is how many times is the customer's concerned, whether this is a scam call or not, and so forth. These things can be changed. You guys can share your input and I can go in and update that as well. Top notification. So far, we only have the dead air and the talk speed as a top notification. And so that's what we have here now. Dead air, 55%. Okay, there's a lot of, nuances why that may be that, but we still need to decrease the dead air, right? So we can focus on, effectiveness. Is it a knowledge-based thing? Could it be the fields option that's affecting it? So we definitely want to look into that. On the left-hand side, we have the checklist. As you can see, you still have those fill options here, right? We have the checklist usage. Um, and with the checklist usage, you can basically see the same thing. You can see the percentage, right, for each day. If you wanted to track for one day, you can do the one day. Here you can track, you can put the date range here, however you choose to do it. What I'm going to do is I am going to pick a specific team. I am going to check enhance. And then I am going to pull the numbers. Let's say, I don't know, start from there, right? And I'm going to click filter. All right. So what this does is that this filters out for the time frame that I'm looking for. I'm able to compare the dates, compare the stats right then and there. And the great thing about this is that I am also we we are also able to make this into an Excel form, right? That's awesome, right? So we can like check this all the time, daily, and pull it out, print it out, send it out to the teams, have our meetings. This is the checklist items, right? These are the items that's appearing on the agent screen. And this gives us a quick snippet of what parts are being said the most, what parts aren't. Do you have Medicaid or Medicare? 75%. That's a good number, but we're 100, right? And so in due time, we're going to get there. As you scroll to the right-hand side, you'll see the other parts of the checklist and see which parts are being said. You're able to look at this and track and say, and say like, okay, maybe we should take out this, or maybe we should put this back in, or, so forth. But all of that information needs to be communicated to me so that I can go in and we can have some synchronicity and make the changes to the checklist if need be. As I'm scrolling, this is additional data, usage by date. You can check, compare. You can pull up the Excel file here. Average checklist usage by user. You can see, all right, 35% checklist completion here for that agent. And then we can ask ourselves, why is this person using 28%? Why is that 35%? We can sit and talk to them. Okay, so which part of the checklist do you think, what's happening? Is it a screen thing or, do you not agree with what's on there because it's on the script? Have these conversations with agents. They're coachable moments. There's different types of coachable moments. There's moments where you just want to walk over to the agent's desk and talk to them. And there's moments where you may want to document that coaching opportunity, right? And for this agent here, it shows the percentage of how many times this agent asks, what zip code do you live in, right? This is basically every part of the checklist. And just to kind of backtrack, the checklist is the most important part of the script, right? The most important parts. It's not the entire script. So it's bullet points. And we drop like little hints that insert information for the agents as well. And so, all of your preventative care, saying the preventative care, how many, 11 times, these numbers need to increase, right? And the numbers can only be accurate if the agents if they understand that this is a tool that they have to log in. These agents only have 3 tools that they're using, the BE portal, TLD, and Balto, and the Gmail, sorry, and their Slack. All right, all right, a few more. But there's other places that, the other teams, they have a lot of tools and they were able to effectively use Balto. So checklist item wins. These are the areas where the agents are doing good and you can hover over and see the percentage. You can see the actual checklist item uses by call, how long that call was, and which parts are these agents saying the most? So it looks like there's a trend here, right? Do you have Medicaid or Medicare? If agents are not saying anything, I notice that they are saying this, right? And we're able to look into the actual phone call because we have their VoIP number link from TLD. All right. Going over to the deck item. The deck item allows us to kind of track behaviors, right? And trends and triggers and comments from the customer and so forth. And so we can always go in and change the different types of information that's being tracked. If you guys want to share some insight on what you think should be tracked here in this section, feel free to send me an email, and I can take a look at that and cohesively as a team make a decision to upgrade those things as well. Just some things here. Budget. How many times the term budget was mentioned? Why was it mentioned? Right? I'm not sure how often budget would have to be mentioned on an ACA call, but somehow it's being mentioned. Scam, is this a scam? 28%, right? So that's of this time frame with this specific group, right? That's when it has been mentioned for those times. How many times did the customer say, I'm not comfortable with making a payment, right? 16% is tracking that. But remember, we can only get accurate numbers if everybody's on board, and it starts from the top. Okay, let's scroll down. Deck win rates analysis, right? Here is where we have the objections and the rebuttals. You know, whenever a topic come about budget, Balto automatically populate these rebuttals for them, right? When a topic come up, can I call you back? Balto populate these rebuttals for them, and so forth. Can you send me something in writing? And if we click down, we'll see the rebuttals for those as well, and we can see which agents are using these rebuttals. All right, and so on the left hand side, notifications. Notifications, we briefly saw that in the overview section. So far, we have dead air and talk speed as a notification, and dead air being at 59%. That's something we do want to look into, but we know there's other factors that's contributing. And once we fully get on board as a team, we'll be able to effectively track that. Talk speed. I don't know if I'm over to talk speed right now, but trying to get this all in a short time. Notification usage by date, right? Pretty much the same pattern of, how it's set up, when you go to each of these categories here. Notification usage by user, right? You can see how much time this agent was notified for dead air, talk speed, and so forth. All right. Post call, right? This is all of these are areas of coaching, right? Opportunity for coaching. Um, and so, where you hear I language, how often do the agents say I language or we language or you language? Active listening. Active listening is so important, right? 18%. It's saying, from this time frame, from the 1st to the 25th, 18%, right? And so that's something that we can think about. But also, all the agents are not logged on, right? Or there may be some things going on. So we have to get everybody on board, even those senior agents that are making sales and they know the script, like yesterday, right? But if you're saying the script and you know the script and you know what to say, then automatically when you have the application up, Bolt is going to track that. So, it shouldn't be a problem. Bad reviews, budget. So these are some things that we have in a post call that tracks, whether coming from the agent end or the customer's end. By date, by users, we're seeing, which agents, active listening is so important to me. And it's just very important that we kind of focus on that, as a team, in regards to that. So here, if you scroll down, you have the post call wins. How many times, agents actually was tracked for actively listening, right? Active listening, agreeability, ask for a callback. How did they handle those calls, right? And so there's a lot of data on the back end as well, but this is just ways that you can just find opportunities to make your agents better, right? Effective, make more sales effectively. That's really what we want because we like longevity, right? So that's the goal. All right. And so the usage, you want to know which agents are using it, which agents aren't using it. users with calls, right? This lets you know the percentage, right? 49 users um, on the 9th of August. So far, that's the highest date, right? And that's from this team with from these dates. So that's basically the stats that we're looking at there. Total calls, call by users, right? How many called? 26, right? 105. These numbers are, that means this agent is on often and or maybe they were on vacation. I'm not sure. Things happen, right? We can figure that out. But that's amongst the team leads and the supervisors and the managers to figure out why is Balto only showing this, right? That means the agents are not logging on often. They may be on vacation, or there may be some other factors that we need to discuss, and so that we can effectively help, right? Users with no calls. These are all the agents that don't have any calls. If you wanted to have a meeting and just kind of talk to them. You can get an Excel sheet. You can pull it out and just, figure out why don't these agents have calls at a certain time or whenever that is. Okay. So on the left hand side here is the export CSV. You can basically export this entire all of that information. You select the playbook. You can select for a specific team lead or a group or whoever, and you just export and you get all the stats, right? And so we do want to let you guys know, focus on your team and focus on your stats. And entirely, I will communicate with everyone on a whole so that we can kind of get us up and running, or so we can get it done effectively, right? Leaderboards. To mention what leaderboards are, leaderboards show the stats, right? Caitlin Hall, it shows that 77% of checklist usage. This is showing, okay, today, right? But that's what we can, she'll be able to see these stats today. But as the day go by, those numbers change. And the agents are able to see these stats, and team leads are able to see these stats as well. QA scoring, my favorite part. Okay. So just to kind of give you a brief insight on the back end of what the scorecard looks like on my end, this is basically um the scorecard, right? I broke down the most important parts of the script, which is a checklist, and I created labels and subcategories. And basically, I was able to create the scorecard that is, that applies to ACA sales. I clicked the compliance scorecard because compliance will have their own scorecard as well. Okay. All right. So we have the introduction, subsidy clarification, explanation of benefits, collect application information, confirming upsell closing, customers approval agreements and understanding. This is what Balto is tracking the agents on according to the most important parts of the script. And we're able to see how often they're doing it correctly. As you can see the numbers here, the percentage, Balto automatically just divvies it up, and all of these numbers will total up to 100 here. All right. So that's a quick snippet of like the data and the scorecard and so forth. But I actually want to pull up scorecard stats, right, for agents. Let's see. And remember, you have to select the group that you're looking for, right? The scorecard, ACA sales, right? The scorecard for ACA sales. So with the introductions, it's showing the percentage of, all agents within all the ACA team, right? I didn't pick a specific group. I could do a TL and so forth. We have the below threshold, above threshold, subsidy clarification, right? What zip code do you live in? 53.48. Subsidy introduction. Everyone's not telling them what the subsidy is. That's unacceptable. All right. And so the full aggregated score here. And you can do these scores for agents, print them out. These are printable. So you're able to print these scores out, give them to agent, have them sign them. If you want to create a system, communicate with me so I can assist you with that as well. And that's pretty much a snippet and a quick, fast recap of what we have here with Balto, how we can use it, how it can be beneficial. And essentially, I hope everyone use it. There's one last thing that I do want to share with everyone here, and it's how to set alerts. Did forget about that. Real-time coaching, right? Real-time coaching alerts. If you look on the right-hand side of my screen, I am monitoring certain agents. I set positive alerts and negative alerts, things that based off the script, based on compliance, based on quality that are positive and are negative. So when they do something positive, I can literally hop on their call. I can listen to their call. I can send a note. Oh, good job. I can, encourage them, good job. Good job, I can encourage them on the call and so forth. I'm not going to send that. I can see the negative trends. Was it on their end or the customer end? We can also check profanity. There's so many things that we can track here on Balto. How do you do this? Right? Alerts. How do you set alerts? So you go to the alert options. Here, these are my alerts, right? So my alerts are going off. I create alert. I name the alert. This alert can be need to speak to supervisor, right? And so anytime a customer says they need to speak to a supervisor, you can set that. That's a negative for an entire group. Select tag. Let me do, you know, I can just do a specific team, right? So I'm gonna track this team. I click continue. Remember, the playbook is ACA playbook. I select the item where I want it to come from. I want it to come from the post call, right? Select items, agent or customer. Don't want to track it from the agent or the customer. That's a customer statement because the customer will be saying that. I click add trigger, it drops it down, I submit it, and now I have created alert. So every time a customer says they need to speak to a supervisor for that specific ACA team, I will be alerted. And all team leads and managers need to set these alerts as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a brief snippet of how to use Balto Cloud for team leads, managers, supervisors, compliance, and even QA. If you guys have any questions, feel free to communicate with me via Slack, Anika Brown on Slack. If I am not in your Slack rooms, please send me an invite so we can have effective communication and we can get the ball rolling. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.